Kunja Vihari Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardha Nandana Braja Jana Nandana Braja Jana Jana Natina Vana Yamuna Tina Vana Chari Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Jaya Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Radha Madhava Madhava Radhe Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Bhagama Jaya Sudashana Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Bhagama Jaya Sudashana Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hari Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hari Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, नाम संकीर्तन की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं धनंजयव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरते। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिके। Hare Krishna. So I welcome all the devotees for this morning Bhagavatam Seva. So I thank you, the organizers for giving me this opportunity. So we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 31, shloka number 24. So I hope I am audible.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
So we're reading shloka number 24. Patito bhuvya ashrim misaha, patito bhuvya ashrim misaha, patito bhuvya ashrim misaha, vishta bhuviva chestate, vishta bhuviva chestate, vishta bhuviva chestate, yogyati gati jnane, yogyati gate jnane, yogyati gate jnane, viparitam gatim gataha, viparitam gatim gataha, viparitam gatim gataha, patito bhuvya shrimmisaha, vishta bhuviva chestate, yogyati gate jnane, viparitam gatim gataha, patito bhuvya shrimmisaha, vishta bhuviva chestate, yogyati gate jnane, viparitam gatim gataha, patito tu bhuvya shrimmisaha, vishta bhuviva chestate, yogyati gate jnane, viparitam gatim gataha. So we read the word-to-word meaning and translation. Patitaha, fallen, bhuvi, on the earth, arsek, with blood, misraha, smeared, vishta bhuva, a worm, aiva, like, chestate, he moves his limbs, gayati ati, cries loudly, gate, being lost, jnanani, his wisdom, viparitam, the opposite, gatim, state, gata, gone to. So translation, the child thus falls on the ground, smeared with stool and blood, and plays just like a worm germinated from the stool. He loses his superior knowledge and cries under the spell of Maya. So there is no purport for this translation. So we go to the next sloka. Chandan na vidusha, Chandan na vidusha, Pushya mano janine saha, Pushyamano janine saha, Pushyamano janine saha, Anna bhi Pretamapanaha, Anna bhi Pretamapanaha, Anna bhi Pretamapanaha, Yatyaka yatum nishvaraha, Nishvaraha, Yatyaka yatim nishvaraha, Parachandam na vidusha, Pushyamano janane saha, Annabhi Pretamapanaha, Yatyaka yatim nishvaraha, Parachandam na vidusha, Pushyamano janane saha, Annabhi Pretamapanaha, Yatyaka yatum nishvaraha, Parachandana vidusha, Pushyamano janena saha, Annabhi Vetmana panaha, Pratyakayatum nishvaraha. The word-to-word translation. Parachandam, the desire of another, na, not, vidusha, understanding, Pushyunataha, mataha, being maintained, Jnanena. The screen got disturbed. His wisdom. Sa, he, anabhipretam, and into undesirable circumstances, apanaha, fallen, pratyakaitam, to refuse, anivishwaraha, unable. Translation, after coming out of the abdomen, the child is given to the care of persons who are unable to understand what he wants, and thus he is nursed by such persons, unable to refuse whatever is given to him. He falls into undesirable circumstances. Let's read the purport given by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Within the abdomen of the mother, the nourishment of the child was being carried out on by nature's own arrangement. The atmosphere within the abdomen was not at all pleasing, but as far as the child's feeding was concerned, it was being properly done by the laws of nature. But upon coming out of the abdomen, the child falls into different atmosphere. He wants to eat one thing, but something else is given to him because no one knows his actual demand. And he cannot refuse the undesirables given to him. Sometimes the child cries for the mother's breast, but because the nurse thinks that it is due to pain within his stomach that he is crying, she supplies him some bitter medicine. The child does not want it, but he cannot refuse it. He is put in a very awkward circumstances and the suffering continues. So we discuss on these two slokas first. Om Jnanatimandasya Jnananjana Shagakaya Chakshuyamitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sivatapadakam Sri Guru Vaishnamam Se Sri Sratam Sadhatam Sahaguna Gavita Sri Vishakamitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpata Vascha Kripa Sindhu Yavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Sundar Krishna Shtabuddha Sindhi Apaka Swami Nityananda Namaja Padani Tarka Padani Om Tat Sat. So, Sloka number 24 says that the child uses his superior energy and cries under the spell of Maya. 2 points I want to highlight here. So, the child uses his superior knowledge. So, as indicated in this Bhagavatam, the child was given superior knowledge before. Since he has lost it now, it means that he was given superior knowledge before. So, this is very important to understand that the Krishna consciousness or the knowledge is there in us, but only thing it is not manifested. So this superior knowledge that was given by Krishna for us to take that knowledge and come out of this cycle of birth and death. So here the Kapila Muni's instruction to his mother Devati is telling about the conditions when a child is born. So when a child is born, so inside the womb also it starts with the problems that are inside the womb. There it is in a very horrible condition, and then is covered with stool, urine, everything that's described by the previous slokas. So in this we see that the child is suffering. So inside the womb, the child is suffering. And a very important point to note here is that due to his knowledge given by Krishna, Lord Krishna, as Paramatma within his heart, Paramatma is also there within the child's when he is in the womb. So the knowledge is given to the child within the womb itself, and then with that knowledge, the child prays. Actually, the child prays that please take me out of this horrible condition. I'm stuck in this horrible condition. Please take me out. And what is the return? I promise that I will take your shelter. I will become Krishna consciousness. I will take shelter of you when I come out. So this is the promise which the child makes inside the womb. But unfortunately, that knowledge, when he comes out, in this sloka it says, as soon as the child comes out of the womb, due to the external conditions and the horrible miseries, he loses this knowledge. He forgets this knowledge. So, due to the illusionary energy of Maya, the child forgets his promise also, what he has promised. So he forgets it, and then he continues in his advancement in material life. If he did not forget it, then there is a possibility that he could revive his Krishna consciousness and continue his journey. But unfortunately, due to spell of Maya, the forgetfulness has come up, and so he has forgotten actually what is the real promise which he had made. So, unless we take help of such books like Srimad Bhagavatam, we cannot know we cannot know what is the condition of what we have promised. Can anyone can tell before what we have promised in the womb? No, it's not possible. We have forgotten everything. So, this reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, written by Lord Krishna himself, so there it is clearly confirmed that the child within the womb has got the knowledge, has made a promise, and that promise was not fulfilled when he comes out of it. And also we see from the Srimad Bhagavatam that the conditions in the womb are very bad. But people don't project it. In fact, they say that the mother's womb is very safe and happy condition, very comfortable condition, they tell. Huh? Because they don't have idea how they can know what is happening to the child inside. So since they do not know what is happening to the child inside, there is no chance of coming to know afterwards, because he has forgotten that. He has forgotten the miseries which has undergone inside the womb. And now after he comes out also, he starts crying. Why is he crying? Because so much miseries have happened to him when he comes out. He falls into undesirable conditions. He is covered with stool, urine, and worms are biting. Everything is so miserable there. But he's he's not able to express it. Because he is not able to speak, he cannot able to express what he wants. So, and after he comes out, he is put in care of persons who are unable to understand what he wants. So, he is not able to understand what he wants. The persons outside, especially maybe the nurses, they usually take care of the child and they don't know what the child needs, because the child cannot express. So they try to give him all type of remedies, but unfortunately they don't know what is happening to the child at that point of time. So here Prabhupada writes that once he comes out, the actual demand is not known. What is his actual demand is not known. They try to do whatever they think is correct, but we don't know that. So suppose Prabhupada gives in his purport example that the child is crying for the mother's breast milk, but the nurses do not understand. They think he's having a stomach ache. So they give him the bitter neem medicine like neem. So that they think that he's having problem with his stomach. But the child wants to tell, no, it's not my stomach problem. It is due to my, I want milk. I want the milk from the mother's breast. But he's not able to express. So he's in a most precarious conditions. We see that as we advance in material life, and we also are put in a very precarious condition. Sometimes many people are hit by diseases where they cannot speak, they cannot express. So you can imagine their condition. They want to tell something, especially old age persons. You see, if they cannot talk or they cannot move out and all, and they cannot express, they are finding so difficult to express. They wanted to say, I want this, but they are not able to tell because they can't speak. So they are also put in a very horrible condition because they are not so the other person's taking care of him. They think that he wants this, so they try to give him that thing, but that is not what he wants. But still, he has no way to communicate to the people there around him that what actually he wants. So same condition we will face in the material life as we advance in age due to diseases. So these diseases will remind us of a horrible condition. But the materialist people, they say, oh, birth is very good, don't worry. The child is very safe in the mother's womb. In fact, there is advertisement in the northern India for real estate flats that the flat is as safe as the child is in the womb of the mother. Huh? So if such advertisement are given to people who read the Srimad Bhagavatam, they won't occupy that flat. Huh? Because they know that in the womb, the child is suffering so much. So these people, they do not understand. Similarly, for the woman also, for the mother also, there is a lot of pain. Labor pain is very bad. It is one of the worst pains. But unfortunately, she also forgets that and then again goes into the repeated birth and death. So it is to remind us that the parents need to be educated first. If the child, when he is born, and he is given Krishna consciousness immediately, so that his remembrance is revived, his spiritual consciousness gets revived, and then he can continue his journey. So unfortunately, most of them are born in a materialistic parents. They don't know what to do with the child. They don't know how to take care of it. Especially in Western countries, also India is happening. They give the child immediately after birth. They give him this one to the nurse, to the caretaker to attend. Why? Because they have got their own responsibilities, their duties of material advancement in material life. They don't know that they have to take care of the child. So they think that's a botheration for them. So they hand it over to some school or some caretakers, this one, and then they do their normal duties. But this is not what is wanted for the child. So it is very important that parents should become Krishna consciousness first. And in fact, it in the Shastra is said, if one cannot deliver his son, he should not become a parent. That's a very strong statement. So that's a reminder for all of us that we should not become parents or grahasthas and without being educated in that matter. If you are not educated, where is the question of giving the child any education? So when in fact, nowadays also the beauty conscious mothers, they do not feed their breast milk to the child. They think that their figure gets disformed, and so they start with the bottle itself. So you see, so the child gets adjusted to that horrible bottle milk initially. Initially, it is always advisable to give mother's breast milk because mother's breast milk has so many good nutritions and others to protect the child. But unfortunately, many do not start breastfeeding. They start with the bottle feeding, and then that continues, and then the child grows in that circumstances. So such is the condition of the child when he comes out. So it is said that since they do not know what is his actual demand, they are put into very undesirable circumstances. Child is put in very undesirable circumstances. So why has these circumstances come? Because of our birth, taking birth. So the prime intelligent person should inquire why I should take birth again. why I should go into that horrible condition again? But unfortunately, due to Maya, they are not interested, they forget it, and they think we can go again in this cycle of birth and death. So such mentality will always put us back into this cycle of birth and death. Even death is also horrible. It is not a very, this one, easy going death. The people think, oh, he died peaceful. There is nothing like peaceful death. Death is always unpeaceful only. Only thing we are not able to express. The dying person cannot express the pain he is undergoing, just like a child cannot express when he is born. So such things are there that once one reads this Bhagavatam, he can understand that these two conditions are very, very horrible. And in fact, the journey outside when the child comes, the journey itself is not happy. From boyhood to childhood to boyhood, young age, then old age. All this is not a palatable condition. It is not that they don't suffer after they come out. Apart from birth and death, we got so many diseases, so many material problems. So this is not a happy place to live in. So Krishna branded this material world as Dukhalya, Ashashvatam Dukhalya. It is a place of misery. You cannot find a place of happiness inside a world of misery. You try to adjust with these miseries, that's all you can do. You cannot go away with the miseries. Because we have taken a material body, we have to suffer for that, and whatever the previous karma is there, you have to undergo the previous karma, and then again we create a new karma, and again we take birth in some other's womb, and again we die, and this cycle continues. So, Krishna is through this, Bhagavatam is telling us, don't go on to this cycle of birth and death. Don't go through this. Become Krishna consciousness and attain the eternal abode. But unfortunately, those things are ignored, and we try to adjust what is there in the material life. So I want to read the 26th sloka also, and then we'll discuss a little more on the 26th sloka. So the sloka may be put up. 26th sloka may be put up. Thank you. Shaito Suchi Paryanke Shayato Sushi Paryanke Jantuho Svedaja Dupite Jantuho Svedaja Dupite Jantuho Sevada Dupite Neshaha Kandu Yane Anganam Nesha Kun Kandu Yane Anganam An Aseno Than Chestane Aseno Than Chestane Shaito Suchi Parayanke Jantu Sedaja Dupite Nesha Kundeyana Anganam Ano Asno Sthana Chestane Shaito Suchi Paryanke Jantuha Swadeja Dupite Dushite Nesha Kundu Yane Anganam Asontan Tan Chestane Shaito Suchi Paranke Jantu Swadeshta Dushite Nasha Kundegyan Anganam Asanota Sthana Chestane. Word to word meaning. Sahitaha, laid down. Asuchi Paryanke, on the foul bed. Jantu, the child. Svedaja, with creatures born from sweat. Dushite, infested. Naisha, incapable of. Kandayane scratching, Anganam his limbs, Asane sitting, Uttana standing, Chestane are moving. Translation: laid down on a foul bed, infested with sweat and germs, the poor child is incapable of scratching his body to get relief from his itching sensation, to say nothing of sitting up, standing, or even moving. Purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swamiji Prabhupada. It should be noted that the child is born crying and suffering. After birth, the same suffering continues. And he cries because he is disturbed by the germs in his foul bed, which is contaminated by his urine and stool. The poor child continues to cry. He is unable to take any remedial measure for his relief. So, the translation says that he is incapable of scratching his body to get relief for his itching sensation. See, normally when our body itches, we need to scratch. Without scratching, you feel very uncomfortable. You want to scratch because itching is there, but you are not able to do it, suppose. So you are in a very uncomfortable position. It says incapable of scratching to get relief from itching sensation. So this we have experienced so many times when something bites or some scar is there or something has happened to the skin. We want to scratch it so that you get relief for it. But suppose your hands and everything is tied and you're not able to scratch, you get wild. Oh, I want to scratch here, scratch there, scratch here. But you are not able to do. You get so frustrated. You don't know what to do. So in that condition, we think that if someone sees us suffering, they will say, oh, he's not well, I think we should give him some medicine. But actually, you want just the person to scratch him. But unfortunately, the people think something else when they see. So this condition, same way the child is facing. Actually, the child usually, when he is born, especially if it is not a healthy child, he has to undergo so many processes to get cured. Many babies are kept in incubators and they are giving medications. Such is the condition because, and the doctors they tell you to diagnose a disease of a child is so difficult because the child is not able to express itself. He wants to say, actually, this is my problem, but I'm having breathing problem, I am having hand pain, I'm having a headache problem. He wants to express those things, but he's not able to do so. So if you see the doctors, they try to, actually the body is very fragile and that very soft and tender. When the child is born, you cannot even you have to hold it very delicately and see that the child is little comfortable. But unfortunately, in hospitals and all, they don't take so much care of the child. In the sense, they don't handle them so properly. They just take some towel and brush off the stool and urine that is there, and then they wash the body and all. And we don't know what condition they are treating the child. So the child is crying and crying and crying and is not able to express. In fact, some tell if the child, when he's born, if the child cries, it is a good thing. I ask him what for. No, it is confirmed that he is not dumb. So the child is crying for some other reason, and the parents are happy that his child is not deaf and dumb. So in that way, they think crying is good. If child cries, it is good. So in that way, the child is being treated very badly. In fact, doctors have a very bad, very horrible, in fact, very strenuous time to treat a newborn child. So in one lecture, a doctor given by a lecture by a doctor, he was saying it is so difficult to find the vein, to find the vein in the child, because the skin is so delicate, so that prick in so many places. Huh? Many of we have seen this also in our once we go to hospital and they admit us, the first thing they do is to put the saline. They try to pick anywhere you want. So if the doctor or nurse is inexperienced, they prick so many times. You see, they prick here, or it could not come, blood that is not, vein is not found. They go to another place, they prick there. Huh? So if you see that pricking is so horrible, so same thing the child is undergoing there due to the horrible condition. So all this is an indication that we are suffering. We are suffering is there. Suffering is there. From birth to death, suffering is there. So, intelligent person, buddhi vyakti, intelligent person should ask, why am I suffering? Why I have to be born? Why I should die? Actually, that is the real problems of life. Birth, death, old age and disease. That is the real problem of life. But unfortunately, the real problem is bypassed. Why they are bypassed, Because they don't have a solution in the material books. If you read any of the material books, you won't get any solution to avoid birth, death, old age, disease. They say that is inevitable, it will come and go. So since they do not believe in the next life, they think they won't be born again. So they avoid this main problem and try to sort out the temporary problems which they have got. Huh? So the whole life they try to adjust in that. Like we got a prison house. In the prison, actually, the prison is kept for those who have done mistake. They have committed a crime, sinful activity. They have done some crime, so they are put in the prison house. It is not that he wants to stay, try to adjust in the prison house. Huh? Oh, this is there, prison is always there for me. So what is the problem? I try to adjust in the prison house. But he should know, someone from outside will tell, why you are there in the prison, you come out. No, I'm quite happy in this prison house. Especially there's a first class prison cell, In the first class where the VIPs are supposed to be VIPs go there, big people go there, in that prison they are put, and they got all facilities there. They got a TV, they got this one nice bed, they got mobile phone also, I think you can use. So all these facilities are made to him because he's a very big this one. So if he tries to adjust, okay, I adjust here and stay, that is his foolishness. He's foolish if I want to adjust. So here, once you think that I want to adjust and stay here, then you remain here forever. Only thing you will get birth in some other home, and again the suffering continues. So unless we know what is the aim of life, unless we read the scriptures, unless we associate with devotees, how it is possible for to know what is the real problem, how to come out of these real problems. So since they don't have a solution other than the scriptures, they try to conconnect and forget the main problem. They tell them, okay, next you study hard, you will get a job, then you get a good this one wife, then you advance materially, you make assets, okay, then again you play with the grandchildren, and then you finish your life. So they think that is if I am successful up to death without any problems, I am successful, they say. But we know that since Krishna has branded this as the Kavya, anyone trying to find happiness is not possible. So you may find some temporary happiness, but the temporary happiness who wants? You want a 1 lakh check, temporary or permanent check. So people should think how to be eternally happy, not for temporary happiness. This temporary happiness is like a drop of water in a desert. If you put a drop of water in a desert, is it sufficient? No, it gets absorbed immediately. At the point of falling down, it is little comfortable. After that, it dries up immediately. So this happiness will dry up immediately. Only it is so temporary. But for that temporary happiness, we make so many adjustments in our life. So we do not know, because we don't know there is eternal life, eternal happiness. We are not aware of that. So unless we associate with devotees and read Krishna Katha, Bhagavatam scriptures, how is it possible for us to know? There's not possible for us to know. So we should try to give Krishna consciousness to the child, newborn child. That's why the chant when the newborn child comes out, they chant Hare Krishna and all, so that they want to revive the consciousness which is already had. So, but unfortunately, that thing is not done. So they just say ooh ah to the baby, and they try to play with the baby, and finally he get attached to that. So once he attached to this Maya and his external circumstances, he is in no way to find out that he has suffered. So because of our forgetfulness, we repeatedly suffer. So like the mother, she gives birth, so problem, but she forgets it, again she gives birth. So this forgetfulness actually keeps this Maya, keeps it very intact, so that you don't go to back to Krishna, don't revive your Krishna consciousness. So unless we have a strong association, it is very difficult to come back, to get back into spiritual life. So as it is said, nothing in the material world you can take. So in the next birth, you cannot take anything of the material assets which you have made, material qualifications you have made, the material designations you have got. The child born as he's born in a stool union, is surrounded by stool union. Maybe he was a prime minister in his previous birth, who knows? But this life, he's again born in this one horrible condition. So if I am a very influential man, it does not mean the next life I will also become influential. The circumstances will change. Hence, that is not an intelligent thing. So, intelligent person has to think. So, the first question one should ask is, who am I? Where I have come from? Where I have to go? What is my destination? Unless one thinks of that, it is not possible for us. So that is our Krishna consciousness movement is trying to educate the people. Is trying to preach that this is not the material, this is not your eternal place. Your eternal place is in spiritual world. And then in the Bhagavatam, it is given about the spiritual world, how it is. But we like the small fish, we try to adjust in that ocean, thinking that in that small pool of water we try to enjoy, thinking that there is nothing beyond that. So unless one revives his consciousness, it is there, it is dormant in him, but he is not able to revive it. So he is trying his best to revive it, because he is not making any effort, because he doesn't know that he was Krishna, he is supposed to become Krishna consciousness. And the worst thing is the prayers which the child does in the womb, of telling Krishna, Lord Krishna, that please don't put me in this horrible condition anymore. Once I come out, I will become your servant. But that promise is unfortunately fallen, lost. And then the entire process again starts. And again he takes birth in home. Again he promises. So these promises are not being remembered. So unless we read the Shastra, we read here that the child is praying in the womb. So you should know that in the Sloka 24 it was mentioned, the child uses his superior knowledge. So the child in the womb has not got knowledge. So like Bhakta Prahlad, he got knowledge from the womb. No one taught him there, outside. So outside he was given material education. But because he had not forgotten his promise, he continued his spiritual journey. So that is our main aim of life. Is after we have understood these things, after we have seen the horrible condition of birth, you can also read about the horrible condition of death and beyond. In the Gauda Purana, it is told that the horrible condition which the soul undergoes after death is very, very horrifying, very, very scared. Fear will be there. So much suffering will be there. So that it cannot be expressed, because the person who dies cannot come back and tell, I suffered like this, I suffered like that. He's not able to express that. He's not able to remember what he has undergone. So same thing happens in the birth. So child does not remember how in the womb he was suffering and how he came out of the womb, and the doctors were picking him here, there. They were putting him in ventilator, this, that, and he forgets that. So once he forgets it, he thinks, oh, nothing is there in birth, it's so easy. So we can manage that one, they think. But such things is not possible. That unless we go through the Bhagavatam, we cannot know what is our precarious condition. So the immediate thing which Prabhupada and through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu it has come, that the immediate reviving our Krishna consciousness is by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you remember in that audio tape which Prabhupada used to tell in that audio tape famous, it is for reviving our consciousness. Due to contamination with the material nature, we get contaminated. And to remove that contamination, we have to revive our Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is there in every soul. Only thing it is very dormant. And we should also remember that getting a human form of life is very, very, very rare. So out of 84 lakh species, it's not easy to get a human form. So only in human form of life you can realize your past, this one, consciousness, lost consciousness. That Krishna consciousness, if you take and revive, it will make us happy now and tomorrow. But anyone having doubt, then it is a horrible condition. Bhagavad Gita somewhere it says, for the doubtful soul, there is neither happiness in this world nor the next. So anyone trying to enjoy without Krishna, without become Krishna consciousness, it is not possible. So once one gets that in his mind, that it's not possible to enjoy, then his material activities will decline. You can take that for granted. That one advances his Krishna consciousness, his material attachments, his material, this one, aims and all will go off. Because he knows those are no use. Just doing our bare necessities of life, bare duties, we have to become Krishna consciousness. We don't know what will happen when. Because we think that today, so many we've seen that people, they become Krishna consciousness for some time and then again they leave. So in that, if you see that we don't know whether this Krishna consciousness will continue afterwards. Our conditions may be different, our situation may be different, where we forget it. Right? The child, after he comes out, he forgets. In the womb he was praying, but outside he's forgotten. So in that way, his condition is very precarious. So for us also similarly, our precarious condition, we don't know when it will come. So it is requested that this process of Krishna consciousness, especially Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, hearing, chanting and meditating, will immediately give immediate happiness, as well as it will take us back to Godhead, which is full of eternal bliss. Sachitananda. It is full of bliss. So why we should suffer here again for this? So these are the Kapila's instruction that this is the horrible condition which you have undergone. Why you want to undergo that horrible condition again? So revive your Krishna consciousness, and even if you have not completed your Krishna consciousness this life, you can always we carry forward it to your next life. It is not gone. Like your material assets, everything goes, but spiritual activity remains. So you can carry forward. Like if you have done very punya, sinful activity, pious activities, you will be born in a Brahmin family. So you are born in a Brahmin or Krishna conscious family. For advancement, it is very easy. But if you are born in a materialistic parents family, it's very so difficult to become Krishna consciousness. So in that way, just that we have to revive it. It is there. The torment, Krishna consciousness is there. Only it has to be revived. And the best revival process is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And we are very fortunate to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this Maha Mantra, for giving us the books, the scriptures to read. And through the Guru, we can understand more clearly and apply it to our life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if any questions are there, I try to answer, though I don't know. I will try my best, but please take to this Krishna consciousness seriously as we take other things seriously. This also has to be taken seriously, not casually, because ultimately we try to get out, make this as the last life. Instead of waiting for lifetimes, we have to become serious and get into this Krishna consciousness as soon as possible. Time is going out, running out. There's no guarantee of a lifetime. So this process, this thing will never come back again unless we try to practice it now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam for the wonderful session.
Thank you for sharing the screens and helping me out. So thank you all, and those who have joined and heard, taking all your blessings. So Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.